Testosterone injection, is it really the fountain of youth? Let's talk about it. I'm sure you saw in the past all the commercials about low T and testosterone injection, the fountain of youth for men. Let's talk about that. Is it really the fountain of youth? I mean, can it do all the things that they say it can do? Well, I checked it out for myself. It was a few years back. I went to my doctor, and I saw all the commercials like everybody else, and I inquired about it. And to my amazement, my doctor did not want me to take it. We ran some blood samples to see, where my level was, and even then, he didn't want me to do it. He said that, it can cause more harm than good. And I'm looking at these bodybuilders, they do it. And I'm looking at the commercials, and all the guys seem to be happy about it. So what's so bad about doing the injection? Well, he didn't want to do it, but he said, if you really want it, Kay, I'll give it to you. So he prescribed testosterone for me, and I'm giddy, excited, can't wait. And, you take your injection, I forgot where, I think it was in the buttocks. It was in the buttocks. And, it's a dosage they tell you gotta, fill it up to in the needle or the syringe. And, I did that. And to my amazement, after I think maybe 2, 3 weeks, something like that, I really did start feeling a difference. I was more hornier. And when I went to exercise, I was like Superman. I could run, I could jump higher. I was able to do all those things. So, it was like, wow, this is amazing. I felt good. So what made me stop using it is I started to notice some things, because I monitor my blood pressure, even though I'm kind of borderline with high blood pressure. Now I'm on blood pressure medication, so everything's good. But I noticed my blood pressure was sky high. It was like 160 over 100, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. So, I'm still feeling good from the testosterone. Then I noticed that my gym shoe was starting to not fit. I mean, literally, it's like I had like fat feet with fat ankles. And, I was just, well, this is probably from, working out. And, so then I'm like, now, wait a minute now. Now my ankles swelling, my feet swelling, my blood pressure is up kind of high. Is this something that does this outweigh the good? And then I noticed that the more I took it, it just seemed like, I was starting to see other little things. And, so then I lowered my dosage, to hope that would kind of, compensate for some of the side effects I was having. And I mean, I literally was taking just a little of it. And that seemed to kind of sort of work. But in the end, I decided that it wasn't for me, because, I don't want to damage other things trying to fix something else. I mean, as we age, it's a reason. When you're in your teens as a man, in your 20s and your 30s and some of your 40s, those are your prime years. And then after that, it kind of started going downhill. Now, yeah, you can work out and you can do all those things. And yeah, it helps, to lift weights and do some of the other things they recommend. Sure, it's gonna help, but I don't think it'll pump it back up to like 900. Is where I think is the ultimate for a man. Testosterone, because as you age, it goes down. So therefore, when you're young, you better enjoy it because it's like everything else, it doesn't last. But like I say, um, it wasn't for me. And then what you got to do when you're on testosterone, you got to go to the doctor. Like I think it's every 4 months, so they can monitor your blood and stuff like that. And me personally, I don't like going to the doctor that much. I think that's kind of like a hassle. Just every 4 months I got to go to the doctor. And so I didn't want to do that. And then I didn't like the fact that you got to take a needle and stick it in your rear end. It just wasn't for me. But some guys say it works perfectly for them, and I'm only giving you my experience with it. And I can tell you, always consult with a doctor before you do anything. Let them run the test they need to run to check your testosterone level and make sure that's for you. And if it isn't, it isn't. Life goes on. But that's all I have for you. Again, this is Kate back at it with a new video.